Welcome, retail traders. Welcome to Jim's Evening Coffee. Are we in a buy or sell situation this week? Well, last week at the beginning we were in a buy. We ended up selling at the end of the week. So I'm not overly too confident about this coming week. We might get some good news. We should know something about foreign policy, about Russia. I think we're way behind the wheel as we are right now with that foreign policy. Plus, I think we're behind the wheel with the Feds. And the more they get behind, the more it's going to tighten and squeeze the market, maybe to a worse scenario than a better. And it's too late to even do that, so it's best to leave things alone sometimes. But I think they're going to they mentioned the rates, and all of a sudden the market just went into a whole different direction. Foreign policy, inflation, dysfunctional government, and just, it's a mess. So I'm not looking I'm playing scalps. I'm not going to swing. I didn't swing Friday. I did last Friday, but not this Friday. I definitely wasn't comfortable with buy calls. Now I'll know something about Monday. So let's go ahead and look at the stocks, the four that I look at. I'm not bullish into Monday. Monday will determine what kind of week we're going to have, and the market has a very short attention span. So we're going to go over the IWM, the QQQ, the SPX, and the SPY. We'll start off with the SPY first because that's the one I like the most. And that's the one I'm kind of following when I'm following my tech stocks. So we have like a little Darvis box down here. We failed the 200 on Friday. We had a big red candle. So whatever we worked on all week long, all the stability for a week and a half, for 8 days, all went to hell come Friday. And we dipped down below that 200. So that was very important. Now what we did do was found a support. And I'm going to pull this up on the 20-day. The 20-day 1 hour, you have a Darvis box. Now I did a video 3 weeks back about this breakout. Called it out for 3 days. If you took the trade, hallelujah. Pulled it back, same thing happened again. I called out the breakout. We had one, and then the last 2 days of the week, it took everything back that the whole week tried to gain. The whole 2 weeks tried to gain. So we have a support level. This is a Darvis box, bottom line support that we're playing off of. We're going to go ahead and color this in where I think the box should lie. And that's going to be right here on the top of them candles. Whoop. To the bottom of that one right there. So there's your box. We're going to go ahead and run our little red line in between the box here. And that's your pivot point. So now we're going to write the support. See what we did on the top of the box, and we have like a resistance bar right up here. So we're going to pull that up. That was the double top resistance to break. As you can tell, she tried to break it. Once she did, she pulled back to that top resistance line we had right here, and then went ahead and broke on out. So we're going to draw a support line right here. Then we're going to draw one somewhere down in here. This is the pivot point in the Darvis box. And then you've got the first support, which is right around there. Could be a little bit lower, but we're going to retest this double top right up in here first. Then your bottom line, third support with a strong buy down here at the bottom of the box. So that's that. That's the SPY. What we did is we pulled back and consolidated on the top of that resistance channel. Anything lower, we could pull back to that pivot point in between the Darvis box, find it as support, and then start to rise back up. So like I said, I'm not bullish in this market. I think we are going to pull back a little bit and then try to find it. So the new resistance, if we break down, right now it's became support. But if we break below 440.45, go below that, that number is now going to become resistance to break. And that channel is going to be between 440.45 and 442.11. Anything below it, let's see if we can hold to 433.55, which is the bottom part of the middle part of that Darvis box. Resistance to break, we're going to have to take it on up here to right around 444.10. And that's going to be the SPY. So we've jumped right ahead to that one, and we're going to go straight into IWM. Here's another one. You know, the Darvis box week, we pulled back a little bit, so this is a little weaker hand. We could pull back to support level, and that support level is going to be an equilibrium on the chart, which is going to be right around 198.50. 198.50, 197.15 to a third support right down here, right around 195.50. So that needs to hold to 260 something, 268. If it does not hold, that's where we'll go. If not, resistance to break is going to be right up in here at 202.84 and 204.32. So that's the one to watch. I'm bearish on it too. We'll probably pull back. The 200 on the 1 hour time frame will become a resistance to break. So also think about that 200 on that 1 hour time frame. QQQ. IWM, we're doing pretty good on it, and then she just went to hell. So here's another one that took another slapping. There's that box I've been talking about. Now we did pull back down inside of that box already. So that resistance on the QQQ, let me scratch the back of my head here. I'll go ahead and draw that in. Gives us some kind of reference point. Oh. Right there. So we definitely broke back into that pivot point. Now I'm charting this the same way as I did that other one. And you can see example of how this works, as it did find support on that pivot point area inside of that Darvis box. So if that doesn't hold, we're definitely going to drop down to this lower support level in this box, and that's going to be no lower. Your first one's going to be right around in here, and then that third one's going to be right about down in here, right around 339.46 to hold. Or the bottom line, like you said, down at the bottom of that Darvis box. So it's a pretty tight range right in there. So yes, this has got to hold. If not, that's your pivot point in that box at 346. What's the number here? 346.30. And then the resistance to break is going to be inside the box now. And I'm going to say it's going to be right at 349.79. Maybe 349.51. That area right in there. So that's going to be a hard resistance to break. So yeah, this is pretty easy to read. Actually, it's a pretty easy chart. You go in Monday, you're thinking, oh, well, we might look a little bullish on this trade. If we can hold the pivot point. If not, we're going to have to take it down here to this lower support level and run it back up and use these as resistance lines. So that's the QQQ. And then we'll come in here and we're going to be looking at the SPX. Here's another one that's took a slap to the face right back to the top part of that Darvis box. It actually dove down a little bit in it, but this here could be, you know, I'm seeing equilibrium all the way across. So let's go ahead and draw that in. There's your box. Let's go ahead and draw that channel in first. Let's take it right there. And I actually want to bring it to right about there for now. We won't count this lower part. Because I want to find equilibrium. And I'm seeing a lot more congestion right in here than I am down here. This could just be like a simple oversell off J-hook pattern, which it was. But at least we have a consistency of support. So what we got to do with the SPX, it either has to hold this number right here, which I don't think it will. We're going to go just, well, shoot, man, it's hard to judge. I'm going to say 414.21. And then your next support's going to be right down there. Then that third one's going to be that pivot point area. Boom, and then boom. But we want it to hold this red line, no lower. That way we'll still be bullish in the trade. And we can run it back up to 414.41. Or she decides to go ahead and take off, and the resistance to break, if it does start to run, it has to break 44.34.94 to become real strongly bullish. And then you just run it up to the next two trend lines, which are right there. 44.76.40 long. So yeah, this thing can pull back, hit this red line, and start to bounce back up to the resistance level of that Darvas box, and that's what's got to break. That's going to be your hard resistance. And if she decides to hold that and run up, that's going to be a good day for SPX. So that's it. Keep a good eye on all four of these. I look at these almost every hour. Depends on how the market is, what we're trending, which way we're going. But keep a good eye on it. Right now, I'm not a big bull. I'm more bearish. You got to follow the trend, and that trend will be good. Don't get stuck in the trend. If it's running up, and it comes an hour and a half after the market's going, and you're starting to see some kind of congestion, and you're not feeling good about the market, get ready to get in them puts. Vice versa. If it's selling off in the morning, all of a sudden the volume starts looking good and we break resistance and we jump up to get in them calls. Just follow the trend. But right now I'm bearish. So everybody have a good day. We'll see you Monday morning.